Yo, check me out, I'm Elder B. It is Sunday, Kerbal Space Sunday. I almost forgot what day it was. I've matched up games with days, apparently, and that's the only way I know what day of the week it is. Last week we left off with some jittering around the moon, and wasn't even last week. When's the last time we played this? It's been a while. Anyway, we did a contract about taking some temperature around the moon, and then kind of ended the session with building a new lander for this week and accepted some new contracts. So we've got a contract for a Kerbal that is orbiting the moon. We're going to go rendezvous and bring him home and then use that same lander. That's kind of like the test mission, if you will. Use that same lander to land on the moon and go collect some science. Today is also, I guess, it's not monumentous, but, you know, it's good to note, I guess. Significant to note, I guess we'll go with. 1 year ago today was the first time I streamed on Twitch. I didn't multi-stream to YouTube until relatively recently. I could look at this very easily, but when I was playing Quest for Glory 1 for kind of the first session there, I started multi-streaming to YouTube as well. But yeah, 1 year ago today. Started all this nonsense, and here we still are. That's enough blabbing for me. Tea of the evening is Fireside Vanilla Spice. It's time for Kerbal Space Program. All right, loading on in. Usually, it takes me a minute to kind of re-cage where we're at and what we have to do and all that good stuff, but I think I'm pretty in tune this week with what's up. Let's go take a real quick look, though. This is Moonlander Deuce. This bad boy is what we're giving a shot to. I'm pretty sure, yeah, we limited those. It's just the mains. This has swivel, right? It does. This is the first time we've kind of done a lander of this flavor. You know, funny shape just so it looks a little better. I think we've got everything we need. This is a 2-crew module, right? Yep, we'll end up taking Bill out for the rescue mission, obviously. So Gilwell has himself a seat. We'll check staging and stuff in just a moment. But let's go look at what we got out in the tracking station first. I don't think we're gonna review our science like we usually do until we get back from the moon mission. So that probably, based on my skill level, if we do a rendezvous at the moon and also a moon landing, that's probably going to bring us right up to our 2-hour window. I can't imagine I'm going to have a bunch of extra time after that, based on how slow I do things. So Gilwell's there. You can see he's on a pretty much, we can focus over here with this, right? Yeah. Pretty much 0 inclination. Obviously that's not accurate. There's a couple degrees to his orbit there, but it's relatively centrifugal as well, so I don't think it'll be that big of a deal to get here and do what we need to do. I don't know what that mission is, but we won't worry about that one right now. Okay, so we have Gilwell in the rescue. This is for a later date, but I keep kind of bringing this up just to even remind myself that all around Kerbin here, we've got, yeah, that one we're just going to delete. I don't think that is breaking the rules. That is like the last staging bit on return. You know what? We'll leave it. We'll leave it. I don't want to make up addendums to the rules that we have already had. But yeah, I've got 2 chunks of space debris. So I just kind of keep bringing that up so I don't forget that to not break our playthrough rules, we'll make sure to go recover those at some point. Okay. I think we know what's what with our seeing through the planet there. Let's just make sure that'll be, we can grab that one for the next one. I don't think we have this capability yet. And we do have one of the mission ones. And this is just rendezvous. So rescuing Gilwell and this rendezvous mission we'll be able to knock out. You know how this saying goes. The birds and the stone and whatnot. Where? That was that one. Oh, EVA report. Okay, and I'm assuming these are going to be, you know, relatively far enough away from each other to make you work for it. Anyway, task in hand. That would probably be a good one to do too, but This is how we get sidetracked and don't do what we're supposed to. So let's just launch this mission for Gilwell. And get up in there and see what's what. Para, what's up, man? Good to see you. Hello, I'm doing an alternative history lunar Gemini moon landing in RP1. That's awesome. So help me out here. RP1 is like a mod for Kerbal, right? That makes it more realistic? Or does that give you more parts? I'm not... I mean, I've seen the tag a couple times in the sub on Reddit, but I'm not super familiar. But I like that. I think, based on our limited previous conversation, you're just the person that I think would be awesome to do alternate history type stuff, because I think you're really well in tune with what actually happened. So that's cool. Is that something you got in YouTube as well? Feel free to paste that the link for that in the chat there. Okay, that's what I thought. Yep, it adds engine failures, life support, and stuff. Yeah, that's awesome. So rescue missions become a little more important with that one. Like I said, I've seen some people talk about their specific missions and stuff, but I've never looked into it myself. So, yeah, you've seen. I struggle enough with the base game. Okay, we want all that to stage together so we get some gimbling there. We can throttle that down accordingly. I don't even know if 65% is a good number for that, for this weight. We'll kind of just wing it and see what happens. Kick those off. Get those boosters, the come home, and actually, how much money? It doesn't matter. This is such a small amount of money. We obviously don't need the Science Junior for the rendezvous bit, but we'll just crack them all off before we come home. And it really doesn't matter because that's not going to come home with us. So it's a little bit of a waste to bring it with on this one, but it's fine. It's fine. I don't want to change it a bunch around and multi-purpose it for just a rendezvous mission here, so that'll work out just fine. Did we take Bill out? We did. Okay. Since I babbled through that, I don't remember how... It's super simple. 4283 should be way more than enough, if I remember right. Our other lander that successfully landed did its thing, so I think we're ready. Let's go do this. Let's go save Gilwell. Fireside Vanilla Spice requires a little more attention, because if you let it chill out, sometimes it's okay, but I don't know. I had some cinnamon sticks, some cinny sticks today, so that requires it to be a little warmer. Anyway, let's crack on. Is there anything I'm forgetting? Too late. Let's go. I did forget fins. That was one thing I was going to make sure to to attach. It seems like every one of my last ones, and that's why I always get this this rolling motion on all my craft recently. Let's save some main fuel here. Yeah, like every single one of them, I forget to put anything to aid with controllability. Para, I'm going to glance at you. Hopefully I don't spin myself out here. I don't really do much YouTube stuff. I've just postponed 2 KSP low-quality music videos of launches in not RP1. Okay. Yeah, so you're just doing it for fun then. That's tough, man. That's more than I could do. For sure. I don't know how great this is going to be. I think the first stage, the thruster weight, is kind of garbage. Yeah, the controllability is questionable also. Get those out of there and blow some stuff up on the way down. Yeah, I don't know how successful the launch this will be, but we'll find out. We'll see what's what. Controllability's fine. You know, a little interesting to handle there, but it was okay. I think I was kind of overestimating how much thrust and whatnot would get out of this bad boy. I feel like this has been a decent launch, though. It's not too bad. Yeah, we're going to use it all up, so we might as well just... well, no, that's going to be way too much. It's been okay. It's been okay. I'm not blown away with its efficiency by any means, but, you know, it'll do. Still speeding up there and still climbing up, so I think it's alright. Plus, we're pushing that apoapsis out sufficiently. Just make sure we can blast that away. This is not a sufficient lander, though. We're going to have to third stage it. That's fine. We don't need to get too crazy with the apoapsis here. That's funny. Are we getting out to that same... Yeah. This would have been... if this had a claw, it'd be a great craft to collect that. Piece of garbage. Quite literally. Thanks, Artful. Thanks for leaving your trash in space. Yeah, 600. Well, that'll click over right as soon as we get into above the 70K mark here, though. I don't know if this is going to do it for us even for this mission, but we'll see. Have you ever watched For All Kerbal Kind? I have not. I missed your last one there. I have like 200 mods installed, so it takes half an hour or so to do just to boot up the game. It takes me a while to boot up the game with no mods, but that's just my rig, you know. Which makes sense. It's an old computer, and I don't know why it's quite so intensive, but yeah, 200 mods. My system would catch fire. For all Kerbal Kind, I have not. I've seen like previously a lot of Scott Manley, and then more recently when I started playing again this time around, more of a Matt Lown. I'm not sure who does that, but yeah, I've never seen any like story driven stuff, I would have to say. Yeah, the more I look at our Delta V there, the more I'm like, are you even gonna make this mission? But we'll see. We'll give it a shot here. See what happens. Might as well keep that on prograde. I don't know why I don't do that more often. I always end up putting it on the maneuver. It's like it's a prograde maneuver. Anyway. Alright, we'll target the moon first, and then get over there, and then we'll do our ascending normal, anti-normal, ascending, descending node goodness, and target Gilwell's craft. What kind of periapsis are we getting? A large one. I think she needs a little more juice. There we go. That's probably going to be a little better. 736 looked about the best we could do. That's fine. Yeah. This is not going to go the way we think it is. So let's just pop back in. It's going to take 850 to get out there. We're going to have 420, 417 left to rendezvous and then come back to Kerbal. So yeah, back to the drawing board, as they say. So I think what our issue is going here rather than liquid fuel in the first stage. I just don't think we're getting to where we need to be right away. We're showing 1447. Let's see what we can do about that. First off, let's correct previous mistakes. There we go. A little less wonkiness, at least of one flavor. There will still be plenty of wonkiness to go around, though. I also don't know I'm not a huge fan of the 900s looking the way they do. I'm assuming I'm going to need, you know, to either go like Rocco Max or something like that to get a bigger tank. What does this have? 1440. So it's like 3.5 times bigger. Yeah, so you could do one of these, and that's that whole craft there. It's fine though, height-wise. I honestly think I need to do another set on top, even though this number is going to be okay. That's right, we'll play with it. Listen to me act like I know what I need to do here. Something like that. Go back to our old ways here. I don't think that's gonna really cut it. I mean, the middle part, kind of our second stage, if you will, is pretty beefy. So I feel like if you don't recreate the center, it kind of doesn't make sense. That's what would be on the Rocco Max. Because that's what we've got in the center. She weighs 2 tons. Yeah, 374. It's a little better than half, but like that just seems pointless to me. We'll give it a shot here. We'll see. I mean, obviously we're going to do a touch more than that. Yeah, I don't like it. It just looks like, what's the word I'm looking for here? It just looks like it's going to be ineffective. Like, it looks like it's like, what's the point of that? That's not going to be enough to do anything. Oop, this is what I was looking for. You know what I mean? You're kind of like, well, that's not impressive. Especially with the second stage there. I think we're going to have to crack this off and do just like another, like throw a terrier on the bottom of it, I think. I keep grabbing the wrong parts here. So we want that and then click this off. What always happens when I design stuff though is then it becomes excessive. Like it's like, you didn't need that at all. Why'd you put so much into that? Give me this again because I don't even remember what part that was. Nope. This would have looked better. Then we can do some skinny goofiness. Throw a terrier on it. And then do some more skinny goofiness. I could just figure out what part that is. I assume it's that one. Yeah, okay. Are you gonna get the right one? No, you're not. Do you ever get the right one? I don't think so. Oops. That's unnecessary. There we go. That's what looks silly though. Ah, the terrier's there. Who cares? Very unproportional nonsense looking, but I don't like it. Let's go and do this way. Attach those two, and then we can do the smaller coupler there. This one? Yeah. We need it to be like in between the two. Is that the one I keep grabbing? I think it is. This one is too big, right? Yeah. That's like a Rocco Max style. You don't have the part I want. Oh well. We'll let it be goofy. Okay, now. Smack those two bad boys, kick those off, get rid of that. Get the terrier to get us in the area, and then the lander to get back from there. I think this is not any much more significant than what we had. It's gonna make me feel better though. Slightly. And then I think we'll just extend boosters, really. Can we make some more money here? Is this something that can be accomplished? Not really. What if we plumb? Yeah, it's better. Okay. This is doing all the work anyway. These Yeah, not swivel. We've got some control there. Last time we did a somewhat taller craft, I regretted not being able to control it as well, so that's not a bad spot for that. It literally looks like I took and just did like different construction, right? Remember struts. I think so. Here's my like very goofy way to go about it. I like to see it wobble itself. Oh crap, that's not what I wanted. I like to see it wobble itself to death before I bother fixing that. Obviously that's not the smart way to go about it, but then I'm like, oh okay, you need struts. Like I can tell, you know, this distance of not being connected to anything is probably not going to be very happy, but I like to see the proof. Sup, Gore? What's up, man? How you doing? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. It's time to fail and make people wonder why such ridiculous things are being built. It's not that they're ridiculous, it's just you can tell while it's sitting here like, oh, well, that's not gonna work. Why am I doing this way? I'm second guessing this about 15 times, so let's just not do it like that. Let's give it some actual fuel. Let's make it look a little better. We can throw our stupid part that I keep trying to make happen here. But yeah, look at that. That's just... This looks like crap, but it's okay. I'm slightly happier with that. There we go. What does this have or not have that the last one didn't? It looks like it's not going to do even as good of a job as the last one did. Or didn't do, I suppose. Depending on how you're feeling. Are you streaming on Twitch too? Yep, I am. I'm multi-streaming to both. Okay. How did that end up worse? We're worse off than we were. Because we got too much weight and these little piddly rockets on the sides aren't doing the trick, I think is what we're dealing with there. Para, we've got Gore over on Twitch saying, howdy YouTube. Why is that happier? Why is that? Okay, it's not. I think just reattaching those engines kind of like made the stages happier, which is odd. Alright, we got a kick. Good, he's gone. Bill keeps trying to ride along and we don't want him. Must be nice to be on his main channel. What's that mean? There is no main channel. It's all one channel here. Over here just kicking rocks. Yeah, if it weren't against terms of service to combine chats and stuff like that, that's absolutely what I would do. But Twitch doesn't like people who don't want to make money, so after 7 days, they're like, get your videos out of here. That's where YouTube comes in. Man, that thing is ugly. Para, you're immediately right. Don't forget struts. You can see this thing flexing and being gross even before we leave the pad, but you know what? It wouldn't be fun if we didn't give it a shot. Let's see what happens. A jiggly jiggly. Well, it feels better than the last one. I started this turn a little prematurely. Least phallic shape one to date, though. If it were to still maintain that profile, I would have some questions for the doctor. I always have, even when I'm building a plane, like I can't get a preconception of what, like, you know, like a rocket or a plane is supposed to look like, and I think that's what really hinders my creativity in this game. Is like breaking past the preconception that I have. That was way too early, but we'll see how it works out. I also need to be mindful that these bad boys, I probably should put them on the front and back with doing an easterly turn like this. They are gonna, yeah. Okay, at least none of the important stuff broke. Just smack into there and get crazy. All right, we need to gear back up because she's a heavy boy. Yeah, that turn was way too early. Let's see if we can even make this happen, because right now we're kind of... I don't even know if I can recover that. We're way tilted over here. Come on. Come on. This is almost like a revert to launch, I think. Look at the wobbles. Here comes the Kraken. Just AoE's your own space base. AOE. For some reason, Gore, your acronyms have lately, they're not yours, but the ones you're using have been lost on me. Area of effect. See, to me that's like you want me to use an artillery unit to make it happen. This has been the worst launch ever. Ever. Let's try that again. I think it would be okay. It was just me tilting it over too quickly. Too hastily, if you will. Speaking of space base, every time... That's funny, look at this. Get a hold of yourself. She's twisting and a turning. Sitting here on the pad. I think about space base, and I think about how difficult it is for me to get a moon lander. I'm like, a refueling minimus, like, space station seems impossibly out of reach. I don't think that's the case, though. We'll get it eventually. You just drop 2 explosive shrapnel boosters near your base. There's a cleanup crew down there. They'll take care of it for us. They make sure that everything is in tidy order. I get you. Area of effect, so I'll carpet bomb the Kerbal landscape with parts until we finally get a base going. Now I'm on the same page with you. What is happening with this? It's just like, no, we're not gonna fly. The first one was like, okay, let's go to the horizon. And this one is like, I just want to go to the stars. How do we make that happen? So same craft and 2 very different launches here. Oh yeah, there we go. There you go, Jeb. Can you save it? Can you make this happen? Oh, 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 oh. Okay. Well, we didn't die. This clearly is not going to do what we want it to. Let's see if we can do something cool out of it. We might as well get back to the space center faster. Look at all the debris flying around everywhere. Okay, we've got the reaction wheel, so maybe we can pull something cool off here. I don't think with the Terrier though. So let's blast that bad boy out of here. I'm kind of surprised that it's able to stay upright as well as it is here. Okay, I don't think we're going to be able to pull this off. But we're going to try it. Let's try and get back over land here. Jeb with his 1,000-yard stare, reflecting on his life choices that led to this. He should have known when he wasn't that smart in school and then made it to the Kerbal Space Academy that he was the most capable Kerbalnaut. Like, if this is me, if I'm all we've got, I think we're going to make this happen. I think this is actually going to take place. Yep. If we can actually make it to the runway too, with having to do the trajectory difference there, I'm going to be very impressed with myself. We've got plenty of fuel left. A decent clip, but slowing nicely. Let's do one successful thing today, huh? Okay, I think I've learned. Put the boosters on the 12 and 6 when we're doing the easterly departures. I think we're going to clip right on the side of this runway, and that might... Let's see if we can get as little bit of an offset as possible there. Okay, Okay, a little slower, a little slower. Nice, nice. Nope, nope. Don't waver. You're fine. Oh, we are drifting a little bit, though. Oops. That's the wrong button. Oh, man, that would have been so cool, too, and then I blew it. Blew it at the last second. And then we literally blew it. Oh, no! You're fine, Jeb. You're fine. Hang on. Boom. That's a successful landing right there. Wonder if we can we get this back on her? No, she's not happy anymore. That's it. She's ready to roll over. Let's do some science, huh? 0.4? We'll take that. The 0 I'm not too worried about. I think this is all the stuff from the rover, so this is gonna... Oh, 0.2? All is not lost. We brought 0.6 science home with us. Jeb, take a step outside. This is your victory lap, buddy. Get you a surface sample. 9 science? Come on, guys. Bring that on home. That's what I'm talking about right there. Those sweet birds chirping. We didn't die. We even got some money back. We only lost like 8 grand. 8 grand for what? 9.5 science? That's money well spent right there. I don't know why Jib didn't get, you know, some experience for recovering that. Okay. What are we looking at? First off, to move our sweet flag, and then our boosters. Still have our fuel. Still going the correct direction. Doesn't look quite as cool when you're looking at it this way, but that's fine. I don't even know how we would have been doing. Pear, I'm gonna go with you, man. You said don't forget struts. I said nah, we'll see what happens. Well, guess what happens. So let's strut it up. I know there's a cleaner way to make that look better. I actually don't mind it from the tippy either. The tippy top. Kind of need to make it... There we go. Oh, I don't like the side to side though. Anyway, that's the important thing. How do these struts look? That's why this rocket won't do what I want it to. Okay, that was primary issue, obviously. It was going okay until that, I guess. These are a bad idea, but we're going to roll with them again and see what happens. Is Bill still trying to come with us? Yeah, he's learned his lesson, so he's finally staying at home. What are we on? Attempt number 3? That doesn't sound as bad as 4, so we'll go with this is number 3. Alright. Gear it up. Let's go. It's already like... It's already unstable. The struts there, obviously, were a good call. It's much happier now. It also sounds like there's like a backfire, like putt-putt that happens there when this thing comes off the pad. Yeah, I said the Fireside Vanilla Spice needs to be down before it cools off. It's actually still hanging in there. It's not bad. I think the Cinestick's aftertaste helps. Old food mouth. Okay, we're looking better. We're looking more stable. That shouldn't make stuff blow up. We don't care about if it does back there. We're still too heavy. That's what it comes down to. I almost need to put, what are these called? Thuds. I almost need like some thuds off of this as well and just blast through this because it's just not enough to get us out of the heavy parts of the atmosphere, we'll call it. And realistically, it's the boosters too. I need to go with basically the first stage, I think. Same engines, same tanks. I think that'll put us in a lot better situation as well. I mean, obviously we're speeding up now, but you get that first couple, like, where we don't know what's going to happen there. Yeah, because if I can't get out of the atmosphere, that Terrier's just not gonna cut it. I think we're looking okay, though. I think we'll be alright. I think we'll be able to start the first circularization burn. I mean, Bobcat? Yeah, with the Bobcat. This thing's getting all sorts of wily now. It's definitely not ideal, though. It definitely needs some work. But it'll do. We'll have 3,400 even before we lose that. Yeah, we might as well burn it out and then ditch it. I think that'll do. Nah. We don't need much more than that. Okay, so. Cleanest? No. This is looking a lot better, though. Quite a bit happier with that than the previous. I do need to take a peek at how far down the tech tree we need to go to get the retrieval claw so we can clean the space garbage up. Because coming up for every single orbit and seeing Arfert, I think I give Arfert a different name every time I see it. Seeing Arfert's capsule will drive me nuts. Let's crack a little bit into this. 5 minutes. It's because of our weight and whatnot. Let's do this so we can ditch it and then get a little lighter here. Yeah, it doesn't matter. 5 minutes, huh? 1285. So that's obviously our ascension profile was too steep here. Yeah, this isn't gonna work. So this was not a good idea. We still need more thrust to start. I mean, it's not that this wasn't a good idea, but we changed this and didn't really add enough to it, if you will. Because we should be kind of like just about to circularize and then kick that last stage off before we get to the Terrier. Yeah, obviously this is not going to be successful. We're going to sit here and burn and burn and burn forever and then start heading back towards Kerbal. I don't really know. It's kind of crazy to me. I need to just check thrust to weight, and last session I was like, I don't ever look at that stuff. And I think we're seeing what happens when I don't. So this thing we altered from this. And this landed. It was obviously a little unwieldy just because of how ridiculously tall it is. We did do 3 boosters. I think it's just the first stage on this. I think after we sort the first stage... Not that one. Deuce. Where's the deuce? Yeah, I think sorting this will be okay. So let's take this whole bad boy off of here. What did we have? It's funny, that has 3,600. Well, one-sided thrust, that would go fantastic. That's fine. 4374 off of there. We just take the same thing. Okay, you're gonna be annoying. I understand. You're not happy with me. Why are you doing this? What have I done to you? Okay, that's fine. Yeah, we're gonna be looking at it like that. I don't know what it is about, you know, whatever the intent of this, like, tube or strut or whatever we want to call that. It annoys me, though. Let's turn these just because it'll look cooler to tilt it over. Boom, boom. Too tiny, too tiny. Too ridiculous. I do kind of, it's just kind of fun. Do we not have the right nose cone? How do you send me parts and not the right parts without the right parts? Very small nose cone. Something tells me those are not going to be the right ones. This is why we can't accomplish anything. We spend 15 minutes on everything we make. I never do anything with the paint, and I feel like that's something I should have a little more fun with. It's not going to do what it's supposed to. At least it'll be fun to, I don't know, make this place look better. Okay, we got those. We're 4790. I'm always under the impression that giving the main booster all the fuel is better to get lighter. I mean, that looks better. The three of them should be enough to get us a lot higher than we've been going, faster. Kick those off, separate. Let's put that together. It always annoys me when I don't do that. Kick those on, kick the top off, get the parachute, bilge it out. Alright, fastest alteration I've done yet, so it didn't allow me to overthink and second guess and do silliness that does no good. We'll see how we're doing here. I didn't strut, but it is a lot. Is it a lot shorter? I don't even remember where those other boosters came up to. I think they came up to about here, so a little shorter. I don't think I'll regret it. We'll find out. But it is, it's definitely like resisting. It definitely wants to be vertical. Yeah, I think our thrust is, I mean, obviously our thrust is better, but this is the realm I needed to be in from the get-go, really. Let's cut back a little bit. We're getting a little too much of the old wind resistance there. Yeah, that's looking much better. I think we may have some semblance of success, or at least be inching ever closer to it. Okay, we'll see how much we, how much acceleration we lose when we ditch the boosters here. Pretty much all of it. Yeah, we're still too heavy. Oh, that's better. That's better. That's actually not slowing, and this is still looking good. Let's just go prograde at this point and see how she handles it. I think it might tip it over too much, but we'll see. Still pushing that apoapsis out, which is good. I was going to say, I kind of think we can just lay it over at this point and let it do its thing, but yeah, it should do that inherently here momentarily. I'm going to let it burn through too. I think trying to glide it up to the top is hurting us more than helping. Yeah, that's better. That apoapsis is slowing down, and the periapsis is starting to come up a little bit. I still would like it to be kicked over quite a bit more, though. Again, that's just my technique not quite hanging in there like it should. I also don't need that apoapsis to get up too high, because then there's no point in that. Yeah, we'll roll with an 80 and cut it from there. That's a much better looking trajectory, though. Yeah, that'll do. It's so funny how the difference in burn time there. Alright, I still don't really know what's up with that, but it's the terrier. I know exactly what it is. It's saying this is going to be all the time here. Yeah, I think this needs thuds on it as well. We'll see. This might be successful-ish. Yeah, that's definitely what's killing it, though, is we're too heavy at this stage for just a terrier to do it. I don't know if there's like a larger terrier, because I think the poodle is smaller than the terrier, if I'm not mistaken, but we'll see what this gets us. We'll let it carry through, but once again, I think we're in a bit of trouble. This is going to be a wonky looking orbit, but at least it should happen. This is staying pretty constant, or at least much slower decrease than our burn time. I might be making that up. Now that I watch it, and it's like a 1/10 of a second difference. Oh, look at that ugly orbit. That's disgusting. Yeah, with our burn being close to just over reaching apoapsis, that's obviously what's going to cause the ugliness here. Come on, peek out the other side there. Just need 71. 70,001. Good enough. Okay, what a disaster, huh? At 2930 though, so it's not terrible, but obviously the countless things we could have done better there. And once again, don't just let it do whatever it wants. This will need a redesign to get that that terrier a little bit of help, if you will, because as a lander, this is not going to cut it. Oops! Don't smack into the moon. That's not the mission here. All right, 859. Okay, that's not terrible. We'll have plenty when we get over there. But I think just that that kind of mid-stage booster that we're planning on there is not doing what's intended. I think what we'll do too is a correction burn. I'd like to get because we're going to detach just this lower bit here. I'd like to smack that into the moon if I can. I don't think I've got enough delta V in it to make that happen though. Yeah, I don't. We're gonna have more debris out there. That's a bummer. Well, if you design better things, we wouldn't have these issues. Maybe it'll spin off into nowhere and we won't have to worry about it, but what's more likely is there will be a session or 3 devoted to cleaning up all the space junk. We might bend the rules a little bit. Maybe we'll just hit delete. No promises. Okay, now once again a burn time that's going to be forever away. We won't warp to it, but let's accelerate things a little bit here. Alright, close enough. This doesn't have to be perfect. Oh, that bums me out though. I'm not, it was funny, every time I think about how many times I have to revert to like rebuild or relaunch, and then think about all the space debris that is out there even with doing that, I'm like, thinking I could do a no revert run, period, is, the word hubris comes to mind. That's, arrogance is probably more fitting, but what a ridiculous thought. You haven't played this game in years and years. Why don't you do it without restarting? That sounds great. Now, I do like the fact that we don't quick save. That's probably not smart, but it does kind of, I don't know, instill a little bit more caution, I guess. Burning away. And I know we're having to burn because that stupid engine too. This would have been a lot quicker of a timeline here if it weren't for that. Part of me wants to revert and fix that now, but I think I want to do almost like proof of concept with this, because if I do improve upon it, but we can complete at least this rendezvous, which I really think we should be able to, then it's not a big deal. Plus, with, oh no, it's going to be in this ridiculous orbit. I was going to say with that lower stage, no, it's going to be in this orbit. Yeah, that's true. It's going to be like out here. I was going to say it won't just, you know, be on the same trajectory after we slow down over here, but yeah, it won't matter. Space junk and bad designs. That's just the name of the game. Go prograde and ride the rest of that out. I didn't watch it yet, but I did see two things I haven't seen yet, but I'm had been anticipating. I saw Kitten Space Agency has like a, I forget what the thumbnail said, like, you know, it was like a "we did it" or "it's finally here" or something along those lines. So I need to check that out. And then unrelated to Kerbal stuff, the dev stream for Foxhole's Airborne update. Apparently they were going over how planes work, and I saw they were answering questions on Reddit and stuff like that, so I'll definitely be back in for Foxhole when Airborne comes out. That one's a little harder for me to stream, because I don't, you know, like, what makes that game kind of fun is the random stuff that happens when you're encountering other people. But also, I don't really want to encounter turds on stream and then have to deal with that, so, you know, that kind of makes me not want to do a stream for Foxhole, but we'll see. I probably will. I mean, I've been looking forward to the Airborne update, so we'll see what happens. I don't know why I'm doing that when his... Well, we'll figure it out when we get there. Slowing down is obviously a bigger deal. I probably should just fix that now, though. Let's get closer to his orbit, and then if we need to speed up or slow down, we can do so after the fact. There we go. Let's do one of those for now, because we're going to have to alter it anyway to meet his inclination. And I think actually we probably should have tightened up before we did that, but it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, what do we sit on? 2,000 Delta V out here, so should be plenty, provided we don't completely screw it up, which I always like to say we when we're talking about terrible things that I'm going to end up doing. Okay, let's leave it here, because as it goes around, we'll be relatively close there. Okay, I was about to say, are you going to slow down? Is that going to be a thing we're going to achieve? I always love a 5-second burn. It gives you 50 seconds of prep time. Not that I don't need it, but... close enough. Let's just hit it. I don't even have the node in the right spot anyway. Oops. Almost hit the wrong key there once again. I probably shouldn't be quite so nitpicky about it, and we're gonna not be, so we're gonna let it do its thing here a little bit. Because what if it is right where we need it when we change inclination? You never know. Alright, let's set our boys target. Get over here. Well, I mean, that's unnecessary. Is he rotating the other direction? Is that really a thing? Is that what's happening right now? Okay, okay. Well, that adds a another layer of interesting information that I should have looked at on the tracking screen. I was like, wait a second. His ascending node is almost in the opposite direction. Why would that be such a thing? I'll tell you why that would be such a thing. Even, let's see this. Even if you can get an intersect. Let's see, how would I get it to do that? I think I would just have, we're obviously reverting. I have to do, yeah, so this is descending, right? So this should get these closer to 180? No. Okay, that's kind of interesting. I was curious to see if I can get an intersect, close enough anyway, what the relative speed would be. And it was 300 meters per second, but that 300 meters per second is in the opposite direction. Okay, so we've been graced with a 4th/5th chance, maybe? I'm not even sure what we're up to at this point. We have to take off to the west, so that's presented interesting challenges for us. That does give us the opportunity, though, to do something a little more sensible here. Oh, that's excessive. Okay, what's the tier give us? 14 and 60. I think we're gonna do 2 thuds. If we do 2 thuds, that's pretty much gonna, like, sap this tank out in no time. We just can't do a terrier, though. It's not enough. I mean, that might be, actually. What if we slap that on? And just do a little guy. Well, you know what? Let's actually take a look at the thing I hate doing. Where was that? Is that here? We need to click here? That's what it is. So we know that's fine, right? That's going to weigh next to nothing. That's not okay. That's our issue. And if you take this thing off and throw the terrier back on there, that's going to be terrible. It's probably like 0.2 or something like that. Not even. Well, I guess we're not in the right atmosphere either. So even if we do change that appropriately, it's this one. Yeah, 0.36, so not anywhere close. What if we slap that bad boy on? That does the trick. Okay. That's all we needed, was for us to not be essentially slowing down when we get out there. So that's going to fix that issue. This is a ridiculous number now, so I think we're more than happy. I probably, just doing this, I probably could revert back to the old tanks. But if we look at, yeah, that's not fantastic either, but whatever. We're back in atmosphere right now. Oh, okay. That might be an issue. Alright, no it's not. And we are draining those out, so we'll get lighter quicker, so that's a good thing. And then we need to take off to the west, which is weird, but that's what's up. We've gotten substantially more expensive. So it goes. How long have we been doing this? We've been doing this for an hour? Almost an hour? Have we succeeded even in the first mission? The first launch even, never mind the mission. Alright, well Gilwell, you had to go and be different. Get your rotation on in the opposite direction. So, let's do something extremely unusual and go west. I'm so glad I didn't put Bill in, I forgot about. I was like, Bill's not trying to hop in again, is he? Luckily, he actually did learn his lesson. The thing I don't like about taller craft is I like having the nav ball totally in view, obviously. But I don't know how guys do it with like the ones that are crazy long. I like to see the whole ship. I like to even see the whole plume and the trail and stuff like that, but you know, sometimes it's not in the cards. I think too, if I were to cut the engines when I separate, those boosters would probably be... It's also where I have the separatrons too, but that's not what they're called. The decoupler, I guess. I probably could also like work towards a little bit of inclination match for this particular mission, but let's not lie to ourselves. That is a little more advanced than our capabilities will allow. Okay, launch is looking good. Maybe a little on the slow side, but I think we'll be alright. Delta V is looking good. Maybe a little too much, actually. I probably should chop down a tank here, and maybe even move it onto here, so this will not be orbiting with us. Yeah, this is going to be quite steep, isn't it? It threw me off so bad. I was like, what is happening? This is not the way it's supposed to look. It is cool, though, because the rotation obviously will be happening, or at least appear to be happening a little faster. See how much we can chop out of this. Old Gilwell. A Kerbal rendezvous seems so easy after attempting you. I just realized too that this is not a good maneuver. I tried to lay that right over, and we're right there on the apoapsis, so I might just have to keep this burn in. There we go. I'll flatten that out a little bit. There we go, that's better. That's better. Once again, our space debris is going to be an issue, but these are the ships that we design. Okay. I'm making that a gross egg shape, yeah. Okay. Looking at conserving as much energy as possible. We're going to run into the same thing where I'm sending debris out to the moon. So I think that, yeah, again, more on the bottom stage and less in the mid stage, I think, would help solve that problem. But I mean, a circularization burn of 12 seconds is a lot more significant to speak to the efficiency of that ascent. So if we can clean that up a little bit and recreate that from now on, that would be ideal. I doubt it, but it sounds good. How gross is it anyway? Pretty gross. It's all gross here. Elder B, the Kerbal space expert. That's one of the things that's funny when there's people on the subreddit for a Kerbal Space Program. They're like, hey, I can't get this or this to happen. I'm like, shh, I really want to help you. I am not the person to offer assistance. And here I am, though, still like, you should do this or that. You don't know. What do you know? You can't even get to the moon. This is going to be weird too, just like the principles of the intercept even are, you know, obviously they're exactly the same, but they just seem backwards. Why are we getting all crazy just because of that? I think what I need to get better at is doing intercepts in more than one, for like, you know, a rotating body like that for like the moon or Minimus or whatever, in more than one maneuver and adjust it on the fly, because obviously that is greatly influenced just based on its own orbit there. That's in the wrong direction. 850. Where's the moon? 837. I think we can make that work, and then we'll clean it up. Oh, it's so weird though. Yeah, because we're coming around this way. Alright, so note to self. Next time we take... Let's click over to the other side, because I'm assuming it's going to be closer there. Yeah, there we go. Next time we take a contract for an intercept... Why are you not rotating? Oh. No? There we go. Next time we take an intercept contract, let's pay attention to direction of rotations. It's a little more important to me than I realized it would be. Alright, get on over here. Why? Oh, wrong side of the maneuver. It's like, why aren't you going where I want you to go? Yeah, so super weird. I'm assuming there's got to be missions where there's like, not missions necessarily, but destinations, if you will, where that's a necessity to orbit in the opposite direction, or what we, I guess, what we consider the opposite direction. All right, let's just burn out there because this looks will look interesting enough as it is. I know. Space debris, part 4 or 5. These are the thuds, though. That's what's concerning for me. And sometimes when I click like the edge of my keyboard, it's just like, nah, I'm not going to stage. Yeah, we won't have enough Delta V for this. We'll try it, though. We definitely won't have enough to land. So the landers needs a redesign, too. Last session, I was so proud of it. I was like, oh man, this thing's going to be so good. I'm so excited to land first try on the moon with this thing. Bam, there we go. Why are you saying 331? That's so strange. It's a terrible setup on the orbit too, so I think halfway there we might be able to affect inclinations a little better. Let's kind of see what that does now. So we'll set the... Why is it still telling me these should be the same? Oh, that's because I didn't go far enough. I gotta think about this. Is faster or slower gonna help? Faster. There we go. Okay. I was like, hang on a second, it's still not right, and I don't know why. Now it's all good. All good. Well, yeah, that's literally a spot where it would cross if those were the same elevation there, so, or altitude rather. So I think we'll just wait to alter that until we get here. Yeah, if that's the ascending node, I'll just put the retrograde mark on that. Oh wow, it's gonna cost so much. What? Why is... That's very confusing to me. Oh, because we have not the moon as a target. Right? Yeah, unset, okay. This is very confusing to me. Why are you telling me? Get rid of this. What's happening here? So you have the moon encounter, and there's the moon escape. And if we put this on that, is that not enough time? I don't really understand why it's... Okay. I don't know what I was thinking or what was going on there, but I think the direction we're going in is what's making this like... This is actually a difficult mission based on the directions, or at least I think it is. Okay, I'm back. Sorry I left for a bit. No worries, Para. You do what you gotta do. Come and go as you please. You missed not anything that I'm impressed to discuss. No, so we had to do a little bit of redesign. You are a much more seasoned Kerbal Space Program explorer than I am. So having that Terrier on that mid stage was just not enough. Thrust to weight was too low. So we went with a Reliant, maybe? But I had learned the hard way, I guess, that this mission is a lot more difficult than I had realized. Just with having to be rotating the opposite direction, we're going to get in here with like just over 1,000 Delta V to rendezvous and then get back. So we should be able to do it, but I think the lander... now I'm kind of debating myself. Are you still trying to rescue that one Kerbal? Yes, Para. Thank you for pointing out that it's taken us more than an hour with a already designed ship to not do anything yet. If we want to be honest with ourselves, yeah, we are still trying to get to Gilwell. Realized far too late that he is rotating the opposite direction. Depending on which way you want to look at it, clockwise versus anti or counterclockwise. So we've corrected that mistake. We fixed a little bit of Delta V and thrust to weight stuff. And I think this will be okay for a lander, but I don't know yet. I think we kind of have to try it out. It's got the Delta V for it, right? We've carried all the science stuff we would for the lander mission. Did I turn the ablator down on that? I did. So I think this is okay to try for a moon landing with this. It's not the best design, but I really just need to acquire some science. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. And weird, crazy stuff is going on with the orbit, which was like very strange for me to wrap my head around because I couldn't pick up on that this is the only one we cared about with all the crazy lines that were shooting all over the place. Alright, let's bring this right on inside his, because we need to catch up to him. So I need this to come inside of his orbit. There we go. And then we'll make an adjustment here in a little bit, but if we go back to setting him as target, we're just past the proper node here, but we'll try to do, that's anti-normal, right? Oh, that's target. Where is, there we go. So that's normal. Yeah. So we need a little hit of anti-normal and try and align these a little better. I don't want to waste too much Delta V, but I think it'll be okay. So let's just crack on over to descending. Well, before we do that, let's align ourselves properly here. There we go. Warp on over here. Yeah, I think we'll be okay as long as I'm not turning around too much with the rendezvous. I think we'll be able to do this. We'll see what happens. We got the ascending over there. We'll use that. We don't need that anymore. 0. Okay. So we've achieved that. We're inside his orbit here, but outside there. So let's tuck this in a little bit. Let's warp over there. We'll go retrograde. Hang out for just a second, and then you can retrograde all you want. Because I think I'd like to expedite the catch-up process, if you will. And then let's kind of do some swings around here and see what we're looking at. This is why I don't do, well not, this isn't the only reason, but if I did RP1, they would be running out of all the good stuff, all the food, water, whatever else you need for the realism mod there for life support. There's also no solar panels on this, so if we needed energy, I guess. What do they call it, electricity? I forget what the resource is actually called. We could check instead of just electric charge. Yeah, then we'd be in trouble. So luckily that's not the case. Okay, I could have expedited this just a touch by being quite a bit lower, but I'm trying to conserve as much delta V as possible so my amateur self can make this happen. I don't think we're, like, I don't think it's not going to happen. I think this is likely / possible. Let's see. That's when we're going to be the furthest. This is when we're going to be the closest. What's our separation? 218k, so when it ticks past that... I wish it would keep, I think after you pass it, it's not technically the next intersect, so I think it goes away. No, okay, it does. Alright, so at that rate, I've got to... No, we're still trailing him, so we can do one more. We went to 218, so it's going down by 108. So when we get over here, I need to kind of make the orbits a little more comparable. And at this point, because obviously that's where I'm going to speed past him, this should be something like 3 kilometers separation at this point on the next rotation. 2. That's not too shabby. But I think we can do that. Now, the other thing I forgot about, and I'm just thinking about it, we knew we were doing a rendezvous mission. Let's put some thrust limiters on this, because RCS would have been awesome. The good part is, since it's not an actual docking rendezvous mission, and it's really just, you know, we can kick Gilwell out of his craft, then I think we'll be just fine the way it is, but... Nope, that's not what we want. Oh, okay. It's not happy no matter what. So... Okay, we're gonna have to shift the orbit a little bit. I think we're gonna have to wait to apoapsis and kick that out. This is gonna be a little tricky, but we'll make this happen. I can work with 2 kilometers regardless, but I think we'll try and clean this up just for not only sake of practice, but I'd like to give this just the kind of the one go. RP1 is pretty hard. I can only imagine. Like, balancing another resource doesn't seem to be that big of a deal, but like sporadic failures, yeah, how do you plan for that? Like, oh, whoops, sorry. That engine that you really need right now, it's gone. Okay, let's go pro grade. And that should push our periapsis out a little bit. And yeah, there we go. That's what we're, nope, that's what we're looking for. But also we're not. Yeah, I kind of need to do that. It's also towards the target, which is going to make... But I've got to push this periapsis out to match with his. I don't think he has... I don't think having that as the target has anything to do with it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to let that separation get worse before it gets better. Yeah, that's fine. Even if we can do our second one. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. let's do... Let's see. Okay, so this is going to be... You're still trying to go prograde, that's your problem. Let's unset him as target, and I think we need to alter... I'm trying to focus on Gilwell's... There we go, that'll work. I need the radial in and radial out, because I've got to shift this side of the orbit this way. Am I going the right way? Yes, okay. Now let's go back to setting him as target. You're being a real pain in the butt, UI. Let's hide that for a second. Gilwell's capsule set. There we go. Okay, we have 99.8, and our first one is better. Let's see what we can do to manipulate that. I think if first is 93, we're trailing further away. I don't know what's going to manipulate this the best. We'll just kind of have to trial and error it here. Okay, better and better and better. That's further though, so that's... Yeah, we're getting closer, but not in the sense that we want to. Oh, okay, this is going to be tough. Let's just retrograde and bring that back in. These are probably going to space out a little further. Yeah, this is better though. Let's maybe focus on the second pass. It's like, you're not getting a second pass. Is that getting better? It is. Much better, much better. Okay. I kind of just have to, unfortunately, since I don't have radial in and radial out, I'm gonna have to just play a little bit. And RCS would have helped too, but you know, these are choices that we made. That's worse. As long as we don't impact our, there we go, our inclination. That's going to start going back the other way in a second here, it seems. Let's wait until we get over here, because I think if I speed up a little bit, yeah, relative speed is quite low. So we get here, opposite side of that. There we go. Yeah, because I don't want to set a target. I want it for the orbit. That should push this to air apoapsis up here and get us slowed down a little further. Man, my logic is just not applying here. Because we're still behind him. We might just do a pass. I think that's what we'll do. Because the orbits look pretty parallel, and we still need to catch up. So maybe we'll just do a pass and see if another secondary one will be better. So 48K. This is definitely taking longer than I anticipated. All right, so we have 48K on the first one. How much do we gain or lose? And 24 meters. That's also something important to keep track of. Worse. So further apart and a little bit different in speed. Am I trailing behind him still? That's very confusing to me. No, I'll be passing him at that point. So I need to get slowed down in orbit, which means I need to go to raise the orbit. And I think if we raise it to the other side, that should push that. Yeah, I was about to say over in that direction. Good, and then we'll have a secondary one. Okay, I need to limit the thrusters down to like as low as it'll let me do. I said as low as it'll let me do, and then I literally bypassed. Oh, okay. 0.5%? You want that? I'm like, no. Don't give me exactly what I just asked for. Alright, let's take a peek at this. And we did have a second one, but now we don't. They'll kind of be like RCS for a little bit. Okay, 9.4 is all we're going to get out of that. Let's wheel over there again. Yeah, that's wild to me, because I feel like we should speed up here so we slow there, and then maybe we can meet on the periapsis, because they're both, I don't know. Like, I could do it at 9.5, right? I could just kick him out and, like, scoot him over and we'll just pray. But 2.9 meters per second, 9.5, I might be able to just point at him and make it work. Let's go over here and see what the, again, the next pass looks like. If we start shooting past him too much, maybe we'll just make it work. Because I don't think if I go to target, that's the one we want. We don't care about that. We don't care about the moon. I think we'll just close the gap. Yeah, okay. That works. Relative speed is diminishing. We're going to keep following this around. Let's do the same thing as we get closer. I'll keep pushing this around the orbit. Yeah, I was about to say, why did that change so drastically in the warp there? She fixes herself. It's okay. Once again, this is the problem with playing games like once a week, is that, you know, I'm not going to garner the information I need out of this run to get better at this. That's further apart, but relative speed is also getting faster. Well, I guess prograde isn't towards the target yet either. Let's see here. Let's see what it does with just a little touch more. Yeah, we're getting further away. Why is that? That's very strange. Right now, we're only 1.5 meters per second difference. We're just so far away. We're 7.5K. It's better than we are there, though. Okay, who's on what orbit? I'm on the bottom one. I'm going to be ahead of him already. What if I slow down? Okay. So relative speed's about to be nothing. If we can get that to actually be nothing, then I can shoot towards target and then we'll be in good shape. 3, 2, 1. Close enough. Alright, let's go back to target. So this should be us pointing directly at him, right? Yes. Sure, relative speed will change, but we should be closing the gap here. We're not. 7.4, 7.3. Okay. There we go. That's what we're wanting to see. .3. We can work with that. So let's get over here. 1.3 and only 3 meters per second difference. It's coming together, guys. It's coming together. Constant readjustments and fixes and whatever else you want to call it. Retribution is what it is in the end. I think I probably should have done what I'm doing right now in the first place. That's not anti-target, right? No, that is. This is target. So we'll get a little bit closer, and then we'll neutralize the relative speed. Okay, that's as close as we're gonna get. So, to target, retrograde. We'll wait till we're close. Gilwell, I'm sorry, buddy. You're gonna have to do some space swimming and get your booty up out the capsule. What's our current distance? Where's it hiding? They're too close together. Can't, Okay, I thought that would give us relative speed there. Well, it's going to be close to 3 meters per second, so let's just get that to nothing if we can. Okay, we're going to have to get him out. This is the best we can do. I think... There we go. Gilwell, where are your rescuers? They're right there. Get your little crew report. Nobody cares. Get out. And let go. Okay, let's see if we remember jetpack controls here. Alright, we're heading towards it. And now we wait. Turn your lights on. You're looking a little, guess the lights don't go into your helmet. I'm sorry, I've been saying he the whole time. Is Gilwell a she? I don't know. I thought I saw, like the, yeah, there's a ponytail going on there. Gilwell, I apologize. She looks like she's having a great time. Alright, 8 meters a second. What's that end up being? 120? 2 minutes? I kind of don't want to sit here and watch her fly there for 2 minutes. But then there we go. It looks better when it starts counting down and you're not sitting at 1.3, 1.2. You get a little better scale there. I do kind of want to speed her up though a little bit. Just so we're moving along. And then that's better because we'll be south of it. So if I, you know, underneath it, if you will. So we won't go smacking into it. That's funny. They're like, okay, we've added her to the roster. Like, hang on. Let's make sure she gets, you know, where we desire to send her first. We'll read all these in a second when Gilwell is safely aboard. Yeah, Para, I'm sorry you have to sit through this. You're out there playing RP1 and recreating historical events. And I'm like, man, I wish... I hope we don't die when we get back to orbit. Alright, let's get a little better on track here. Start slowing up a little bit. Looking good, though. I'm not going to use the word proud. I'm not necessarily proud of where we are right now. But, you know, it's an accomplishment, nonetheless. Things happened. Contracts have been completed. And I think we're in a pretty good spot to make it home. So, let's see how incorrect I am momentarily here. Good job, Gilwell. Expertly handled. Let's get you, did that not rotate? I thought that did. Do we have to do this? No? I thought you could rotate her. Maybe I'm mistaken. There we go. The light came in handy after all. Oh, she's an engineer, huh? That would have been awesome if she's a scientist, because we could have, crap. We could have run... Well, that's... Can only be externally controlled. Yeah, because we can't collect that anyway, so that's going to be a wash. Get yourself on board. Gilwell's capsule will see you in a future mission for garbage collection. Look at these guys, huh? Having a great time. I didn't think we were going to be able to do any of that. Do we have any... 1.1, we'll take it. Every little bit counts. No pressure, and I know what temperature's been like. Yeah. Excessively checked temperature. 965 Delta V. Can we make it home? We're gonna have to be over here. We're gonna have to unset Gilwell's capsule, which is gonna be very interesting. I'm assuming there's a hotkey for that, but no need. Okay, we're rotating this way. Let's think about that. We're rotating the opposite way, so we need to burn from here, I think. Okay, I buy it. We're gonna need to scam right on down into that, I think. I don't think we're gonna be able to slow on the other side. We might be able to. Might not be too bad. Yeah, because this is gonna get potentially too excessive. So what's that take? 250? We'll roll with that for now. Let's actually see if we can do better. Yeah, okay. Very much so. The position that I thought we needed is not correct. And actually we can shift the orbit too, just by positioning that. I'm okay with that. We'll do that. We'll use a little bit of Delta V to cut down on the apoapsis just to get us so we're not excessively speeding up when we enter the atmosphere there. I like that. I'm happy with that. Okay. There's hope. There is hope. See, experience would help by looking at 965 and being like, yeah, you're gonna be able to make that burn, no problem. And I look at it, I'm like, ooh, I hope we're gonna make it. We are going this way, so there we go, warp. It's all coming together. A 11-minute burn. Okay. I don't think I saw that one coming. That's very exciting. You know what? This, Oh, geez. Okay. I'm like, why is that so excessive? This is why. Because you're at 100th of your thrust. There we go. 7-second burn makes a lot more sense there. Like, there's got to be something wrong here, right? There is. There really is. Could do a whole other warp just to make up the difference there. Okay. Oh, bypass it completely. That's fine. Let's go home. Don't need that anymore. Yeah, let's not do more encounters. We don't need any of that. Oh, well. Also not what we want, but let's give it a little slowdown here. Boom, perfect. Okay, I just want to tuck this in a little bit. Not to sleep, but to slow down. Yeah, we got 712 left, so let's get that slowed down to about there-ish. And then we'll just drop it into the atmosphere at that, and then do a slow burn. Retrograde burn. Looking good there, so we'll warp. I think we're gonna make it. I think, once again, the last threat is always me, and whether I remember to hit the space bar or not. I do think that I was just on the edge. What is happening? Oh, I'm still focused there. I'm like, I'm leaving that area, and yet here we are, not pointed where I want to be. I think we were right on the edge of being too heavy with just the main chute. So I'll see. I'll see how that looks. I'm just gonna burn that just to get that moon maneuver away. It's obnoxious enough as it was. Keep that going to 200. That's fine. Let's warp over there. Get that out of there. Cannot auto warp so far. What do you mean? Get me over there. There we go. I'll just focus on Kerbal. It's always cool if we could get close to the center. And obviously I need to get better at doing that when it comes to spaceplane time, but witnessing what we saw today, I think we are quite a ways off from spaceplane time. Alright, let's retrograde a little bit. Crack it into the 40. There we go, so we'll know for a fact we can slow down. Get warping on over here. Let's get eyes on our ship here too. Well, Gilwell, welcome to the crew. I'm sorry you you had to watch. Can you imagine there's a crew on its way to rescue you and you're just watching them pass you like over and over and like orbit after orbit. You're like, "Okay guys, is this the one? Are you coming now?" Let's see how we're probably going to lose. I didn't really consider it. We're probably going to lose the experiments on the sides. Those aren't the best spot. So I either need to do a bigger heat shield and make it goofy looking, or, you know, something along those lines. Okay, if those studs start to go, we'll just retrograde, burn, and then separate. I think that's actually exactly what caused one of our space debris occurrences, was separating too early, but we'll see. Yo, Sid, what's up, man? Good to see you. You're my most honest critic of all my goofy mistakes in this game, so as glad as I am to see you, you should be glad that you just got in here. I think I might lose those before I have the opportunity. It's probably the gear. I think that's the gear and that, just the end there. What's this here? This here was an attempt to rescue Gilwell Kerman, but also have a viable lander. So it took like, I don't know, 5 iterations, but I think we're there. It's okay, burn off all the extra weight you don't need. Yeah, I think we're in a good spot, and I don't think I'm gonna lose the engines because I don't have the overheat over here. So if anything blasts off the bottom here, I don't really care. Yeah, what was that, gear? Yeah, gear. It's starting to slow. Yeah, I'm confident we'll make it back home, so I'm not too worried about that. Hi, Wolf Demon. What's up, man? Good to see you. Thanks for coming on back. I appreciate that. Chilling. I love it. What else are we heating up on top there? Let's just bring that periapsis or that apoapsis in. We're good. We'll burn it all off and then we'll separate after the fact. There we go. That's how we make it happen. Let's kick all that hot stuff out of here. Get out of here. Okay, bye. And it's coming back. Just a shitload of firewood. I'm assuming you mean in real life. Because that, I mean, there's several games that's a thing, right? Like, Yeah, I just chopped so much wood. My survival game is looking great. Time to relax. I've never chopped any, my summer car. It's got a steam engine in there. I've never chopped enough wood to need to relax. I think that's always been the goal, right? It's just chopping firewood, but it seems like yours was more for employment reasons. Hey, Ben, Philip, good to see you. I'm very intrigued by the number 1 that's next to your name. I'm going to stop looking at the game and click that bad boy. I don't know what that means. Ben, you gotta fill me in, man. Where's the, what's the purple crown there? I'm not even clicked into the game window. I was watching it. I was watching on the screens that you guys are looking at. Nah, because it's cold. Okay, so you were acquiring the wood for the heatings. I gotcha. Well, we didn't lose any science stuff, and we don't actually, we're not going to gain any science from this. 0.5, we're going to take that. Nothing, and I'm pretty sure we have nothing. Nothing. Okay. We've already crew reported, I believe. Just in case. Always got to check the science. Well, Sid, I hope you didn't cool down too quickly from chopping wood and then relaxing. And I hope you have more than enough wood to keep you nice and toasty. I still have my hoodie on, and it's actually too warm in the house for it, but I'm not a fan of the cold. I don't do it. I don't like it. So here's where aesthetics. I noticed the other day listening to recordings of my own voice, since I don't have a pop filter on, it constantly sounds like I have a lisp, which is not that that's a bad thing necessarily. I just don't actually have one. So it's funny to hear. I can imagine when aesthetics comes through, it's like Lisp Town. But yeah, this bothers me, right? Like, I can't stand when I design stuff that looks like garbage, which is most things, but that bothers me too much. If I worked a job with firewood, all I could ever think about is how each log has to be hand-touched like 5 times before anyone uses it. Yeah, and hand-touched because of germs, or you feel bad? Look at that logo. That's so cool. Because you're like, oh man, somebody worked so hard for me to get this wood here. All right, before I start blabbing too much, let's crack this old chute. Quiet space. Ah, relaxing. Relaxing until I blow stuff up or design a rocket that doesn't do the right things. You know, all that type of good stuff. So we are creeping. Number 1, successful mission for finally. Goodness. Hour and 50. So okay, well there's the intro bit, so 5 minutes, me blabbing to intro the day. So let's give a 10-minute buffer there, right? But more than an hour and 40 minutes to go get Gilwell Kerman out of lunar orbit. I always like to get rid of that too. Just makes me feel better. Splash. Yeah, I think we were doing like a 7, and I think if you're like 10 to 12, I think you can damage some stuff. Hopefully that ladder comes off there. It looks so stupid. No, each lung you personally have to hold like 5 times before it gets into the fireplace. Yeah, I'm trying to picture, you know, like at what point you're getting. So you split what? At least 3 times? Then pick it up each time off the log, put it back on, split it, throw it on whatever you're bringing into the house with. Then you load it up in the house. Then you move it from that to the fireplace. So yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. Something nice about wood, warming with wood though, huh? 2 science. I'll take 2 science. What other science can we get? That's it. That's all the science you get. Let's lay you on your side here. No, you don't like that? You're too bottom heavy? I could just sit there and hold it and then have him get out. What if we turn SAS off? Yeah, okay, it's float time. Anyway, let's just bring that on home and look at all our awesome contract parameters that we completed. Like you have to load each log into the truck, then unload it, and then bring it inside. Yeah, I hear you. That's not true. I was going to say I've almost always lived in warm climate areas, but I've been, if you pin the corners of the country and then one or two in the middle. I've lived those, and then once over abroad, if you will. But it was cold-ish there also. I'm in Cali, but I'm in the mountains, so it snows. Ugh, gross. Snow, gross. Okay, so we did get some science. Kerman's water, the goo. I'll take 6.2. That 6.2 at some point is gonna save, and I'm gonna say, oh, I wish we had 6.2 more science. We're still not incredibly poor, and we have Gilwell, and now she's leveled up to level 1. Okay, let's look at our contract stuff real quick. Wolf, that's a very interesting take on it. Wish I could breathe in space just to hear how quiet it is in space. But then you'd hear you breathing. You'd have to hold your breath and enjoy the quiet. Okay, so this was the rendezvous. So we got some cash for that. Once again, the completion of it. Rendezvous maneuver around the moon. We got that too. So that's a 2-for-1, right? That was world first plus 2 contracts technically. Rescue Gilwell. We have Gilwell on the crew and recovered in one piece. I thought we were around this amount of money before all those contracts. So it almost seems like it cost as much money to make the contract happen than it did to finish it up. It's cool though, because snowboard at my crib, then go to the beach, then Vegas all within the day. Vegas is tough for me because it used to be so awesome to go to Vegas and just walk up and down the strip, pop into some casinos, get a drink, make my donation to the casino and then move on. But I don't know, Vegas just doesn't have the same flavor anymore. Stuff's so expensive there now too. And I don't just mean to complain about, current state of costs, but Vegas in general. So I could surf, gamble, snowboard all within one day. Yeah, that is what's pretty awesome about that area. I've never lived there directly, but been close enough. I'm still close enough to kind of get the same exposure, if you will. No, you would not. You probably won't even hear your heartbeat, but I guess it depends how deep you are in space. Yeah, I think what would happen, right, is that you're going to be contained with something. Like when you lay down on your pillow, right, and you can hear your heartbeat in your ear. Whatever you're connected to, you'd still, have the same vibrations and stuff. But I don't know. I've never been there, so I can't say. I just do the surf and snowboard part. Vegas sounds meh. Vegas is fun. Obviously, wait till next year when you can indulge in all of the goodies, or this year, whatever's crosses the next threshold for you to be able to partake. But it's okay. It's okay. It's not a clean place though. Keep that in mind. Okay, what do we got in Kerbin? Dock. All right. So yeah, that's a back burner thing. I would like the missions though to kind of drive what we do. So building like a dockable craft, I don't have a purpose for that yet, right? Like a refueling platform doesn't make sense around Kerbin in the first place, and then it certainly doesn't make sense for what kind of level we're at. So I don't know. We'll see. I think I need attention depart to a satellite. Is that an existing satellite? Yeah, okay. That's already existing. So we can bring an engineer up and do that. That might be a thing to do. Really just to get a little bit more rendezvous practice too, because that today was a little rough. We can do this. Those are all relatively close. Engineers tiers. We did one of those last time though. That's no fun. Let's not do that. That's not gonna be any fun. Also depends on if you're a gas cloud, because some are so dense you can hear wind. Well, now we're getting into a little bit of spatial bodies, and there's not going to be a difference in pressure between them. But yeah, that would be have to be a dynamic gas cloud. Let's not get so nerdy. Let's not suck all the fun out of it, huh? If you can get small crafts fully fueled in orbit, you can use that to great effect. Yeah, and I think the long-term goal, and by long-term I mean I don't even know how many sessions it's going to take me to get there, but we're on day 7. I haven't done we've done one moon landing, and this is the 7th day I've been playing this. Anyway, eventually a minimus base, mining base, and platform is probably in the cards. But I don't know. We'll see. We're gonna do a refueling base at some point, but that's if you can dock though. Yeah, a couple more of. I don't think docking's that hard, honestly. The rendezvous to me is what's been more difficult, but it's I don't know. I'm jumping ahead on what I think I'm gonna be good at later, so I will leave those assumptions to the truth on what will happen here eventually. Okay, well we need to take this contract because that's 10 years, transmit or recover scientific data. That's the next thing we're going to do. So we're going to force ourselves into that. Sorry, I love space. I'm a nerd when it comes to space. All good, man. Over on YouTube, there is a fellow space nerd, although she did not proclaim herself as such, but I don't think she'll be mad at me if I said so. What else can we do? I think we'll leave it at that. We'll leave the moon mission to be the next thing. Space indeed. Want to go to space. I don't have a desire. You know, career path for me would have made sense. Like that would have been the next progression, right? To go be an astronaut, but I don't know. I'm okay with staying inside the atmosphere and looking down on all the peeps from where I do. Space cops. That's Mine Quad was the only thing I could think of there. Yeah, so this thing is gross. I think I'm still gonna take it to the moon next time though. We're still gonna make it happen. There's still gonna be space debris. Another one. Actually, no. Let's not do that. Let's fix the issue. And it was literally just this. Bam. Now we should be in a lot better shape. I might need to throw some thuds or something on this because this is not quite great either. But yeah, I think that will kind of fix symmetry. The stuff that was going on with the first time around, or the last lunch though. Can I show you a trick? You absolutely can. Standing by for trick showing. See where your payload is for your science. Do you mean here-ish? Or are you talking about somewhere on the sides-ish? You bet you're regretting wanting to show me a trick. I don't even know what you're referring to. Or are you talking about over here? Sometimes you gotta spell it out in crayon for me, Sid. You're either furiously typing or slapping your face. Why did I even offer this? I think staging is okay. I'm trying to remember what the shell thing is called. Yeah. The protective. It's here, right? Yep. Yeah, this is what you're referring to, right? Or you want me to pretty this thing up a little bit? I don't even have the big shell yet either. Is this what you're wanting? Oh, it does look better though, doesn't it? If you place one anywhere, okay. And right click, there's a setting on it that's super helpful for that. Which interstage nodes? I'm not sure what you're referring to, my man. Help me out here. So I right clicked it. What is the part that it's going to help me out with is what I'm stretching for. Interstage nodes. Okay. What does that do? I have no idea what that is. Now move it around when that's on. You mean the ship? So that's on. So we can get out of that. The shell. Like redo it? I know, I'm sorry. You're having to walk me through like this is the first time I've ever heard of it. Because it is. Yeah, like trying to place it again. Okay. Can I delete it or does it have to be the same one? If I delete fairing? Delete the shelling part, okay. I'm sorry, man. Yeah. Yeah, that. Uh-huh. Yeah, oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, YouTube folks. You see all the new green attach nodes on it when you go to place. Place it further down than that, okay? Let's just arbitrarily throw some nonsense in. That'll work. Good enough to demonstrate anyway. Okay. No. Like the nodes give you space. Oh, okay, I got you. Like place this further down. Okay, what does that do? Oh, it just cracks it down so you can shell it out properly. I mean, obviously this isn't the one we would use, but... Well, that was interesting. Well, you get the idea. You know what we're doing. Okay, so you can make this like crazy. Gives you a little area that's supported and stuff. Yeah, that's cool. If nothing else, you know, even just the structure in there. Because when you crack this off... yeah, alright. Yeah, that's awesome. So, when you deploy the fairing, when you're in through staging, that would... this would all be here, right? Yeah, because it doesn't actually separate, it just cracks the fairing off. That's super cool. Yeah, I like that. Thank you for that. This is almost better than like the payload style. Yeah, the storage stuff. Like this, the service bay. I almost like that better. Use it upside down. Like if you were to crack it on top? Oh, cool, okay. Yeah, I see what you mean. Does that fairing let you do it in the opposite direction then? Probably not. Yeah, I didn't think it would, but... No, it's very cool. Thank you for that. Yeah, you can make it any size payload you want now, and there's still attach points to use inside it. You can also reverse it to use upside down. That's super awesome. Thanks, Ed. I appreciate it, man. That level of creativity is going to be beyond my skills, but you know how that goes. I subbed to your YouTube channel. Wolf, thanks so much. I appreciate that. I hope you enjoy it. I've not been as active as I would like to be on it. I'm working on a big DayZ video right now, which takes... it's not that it takes more time than other stuff, but right now I'm taking more time on it than I would like, so I apologize for the delay in new stuff to see. I do have a bunch of shorts coming though, on top of the ones that are already there. Yeah, thanks so much. Okay, yeah, I intended to come in here and fix the issues. I don't know that I actually accomplished anything other than blabbing about what we're gonna do with this bad boy next time. We're not worried about Bill wanting to tag along anymore because we can bring Bob for some sciencey goodness next time. All that's cracking along and that. So let's just save that because I don't think we made any changes to it, but just in case. We are creeping at the time that we usually call it a night, but what would Kerbal Space Sunday be without a little bit of plane flying? First, let's bring on the sunshine. I don't know why, like, you click a button that says warp to sunshine. Why does it give you such a delay? It's like, hurry up, just go give me the sunshine. I know it doesn't say sunshine, but you know what I'm saying. Okay, this bad boy, was this the one we did? Yeah, this extremely simple guy is what we cracked out last, I keep wanting to say last week, but I don't think I was here last week, was I? Wasn't it at work? I don't know. Whenever it was. Last time that we were playing this bad boy, this is what we kind of slopped together real quick just to see what's what. Oh, you know what I did want to do? I did want to put some chutes on it. We don't have air brakes yet. Let's go look at science. Let's go look at science first. Yeah, we've got so much stuff to do to unlock and stuff to play with that I don't even know what we do and don't have at this point. Planes are so hard for me in KSP. Well, nothing is easy for me in KSP. If your brief stop here has not already showed you that, I will definitely show you for a short period of time. Okay, so we don't have science, right? That's what the moon landing for tonight was supposed to garner for us. Obviously, we didn't even remotely approach that. Where is... Two things. Where are speed brakes, or air brakes, I'm assuming they're called here. That's landing, so I can't imagine they're there. Yeah, rotors and rotors. Advanced aerodynamics. There's a lot more things to take into account for planes. There sure is. There's air brakes. Okay, so realistically, it's not going to be the next thing we grab, so it might be a little bit of time before we do that. If you want a supersonic plane and you make a fixed wing, you might have a problem. I've had some success in the past. I actually was good at SSTOs, and what I should do is get the mod. I think I had Kerbal Engineer last time I played. So every time I try to bring one of those planes in, it tells me there's parts missing and it won't let me do it. So I probably should get Kerbal Engineer, take those parts out, and then resave them just so I can go look at them again. But yeah, we're a long, long ways away from that. Where is the capture arm? Just out of curiosity's sake here. Landing, I can't imagine it's in either one of these. Yeah, when we start getting into this type of stuff, because rapiers are all the way over here, aren't they? No? I thought they were... I don't remember which one they are. There we go. Yeah, okay. I didn't remember them being over here. 1,000 science. That seems so unattainable right now. Where is the capture arm? Do I already have it? That would be super funny. I'm complaining about space debris. I don't think I do, though. The little claw thing. I mean, I haven't looked at any of this stuff, but it's kind of irrelevant. And I don't really need to bore any of us, because I'm already bored with trying to find a stupid claw arm. But anyway, scanning. Jeez, the drill is all the way down here, too. Yeah, we've definitely got a lot of game ahead of us, right? Like, we've got ore to scan, we've got mining modules to build, we need a relay network around Kerbin. So it's going to take, I don't even know how many sessions. Kerbal Space Sunday is not going away anytime soon, let's just say that. I've got a lot to work through, and if it just took us an entire 2-hour session, 2 hour plus, about 2 hours, to get to a moon rendezvous, yeah, we got a lot of work ahead of us. But anyway, air brakes in there, 160, not the next one, so let's just throw some parachutes on this. So, Sid, I'm gonna guess, saw Angry Samoans, yeah, the Dickies yesterday. Angry Samoans, Deaf Best. Decode that bad boy for me. I don't even know what we're referring to. That sounds like rugby teams if I were to take a stab at it. I don't know if that's even closely accurate. Punk show. You got to keep in mind, my man, that being more than twice your age, our definitions of punk are going to be very different. And also my current understanding of who is playing said type of music is going to be non-existent. I've always been a metalcore guy, but it's been a long time since I've even listened to the stuff that I always like to listen to. So yeah, I'm not familiar, unfortunately. Apologies for my ignorance. That's not what I wanted to do. Where are action groups? I'm pretty sure basic action groups are a thing. Is there gonna be cargo? Switch editor didn't do anything. Not a big deal. We'll stage to it, but I'll just have to remember that. Punk isn't my choice either. Angry Samoans are lit. I didn't think lit was a cool thing to say anymore. I thought that the TikTok lingo has progressed past that. Somebody's got to keep it alive though. All right, we're just gonna make a real quick run over to Island Airfield, just because I like to. This bad boy is not too bad. It's relatively controllable. The front canards obviously help that. Not that saying front is too excessive. I also don't have any type of horizontal stabilizer, so it's a little wonky. And my nose gear on this, I hadn't saved it after I adjusted it. Nose gear is fixed. So it's interesting, to say the least. I obviously would have adjusted that accordingly if I would have remembered it, but clearly I did not. But yeah, the work schedule is looking quite light, so I'm actually still on call for a couple hours here. So I'm not anticipating any more work cancellations that kind of have happened over the last couple weeks. Obviously the holidays were very busy, and then even past that, just kind of the recovery from post-holiday travel. So with all that going on, there was some cancellations there. So I'm never a big fan of that, but you know, it happens. I don't anticipate that for next week. Jeez, we're speeding over to oblivion here. So, definitely come on back next Sunday for Kerbal Space Sundays. We'll head to the moon, get some science, and then ponder over what we want to do next. I think I need to start thinking long-term on what we're looking at in terms of what our infrastructure looks like. So, we're talking satellite networks, we're talking a mining base. We haven't been to Minimus yet, we've only been to the moon once, so the writing's on the wall, if you will, for the plan over the next, I don't know, probably month and a half. I don't think we're going to be running out of agenda for Kerbal Space Sundays. So come on by and see that. Once again, I want to thank you guys so much. Today is 1 year since I've been streaming. Passing our target here. So I planned on, not that I planned on, I pondered, I thought about doing something different, something fun, more fun, I guess. And then I was like, that's not really my style. We'll just do the normal Kerbal Space. I'll thank you guys for coming to hang out with me as much as you do. And just point out that a year ago today, I wanted to put that in reverse too, in that action group. That would have been the thing to do. I started streaming over on Twitch, and then I should get a date. As we fly around, let me see if I can multitask here and go see when my first multi-stream on YouTube was. I'm not even watching what the plane's doing at the moment, so good luck to us, I guess. Multi-stream to YouTube for the first time. Load faster YouTube. 8 months ago. It's about the time I took my break too, so that's kind of coincidental there. But yeah, it's still a lot of fun to me. I'm still enjoying it. Okay, there we go. I thought I was out of it. Let's get back on the localizer over here. So I still intend to do it. I think I'm going to start cutting back on the streams a little bit. We're not going to do Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I think I'm just going to stick to Friday, Sunday for the time being. And then it'll also give me a little more time to work on YouTube videos and stuff like that. I'm not enjoying editing YouTube videos as much as I used to. And I think that's a fact of kind of doing the streaming YouTube thing simultaneously. So if I cut back on one, I think I'll get some enjoyment back on the other. But anyway, thank you guys so much for being around for that. I appreciate you. I've already blabbed about this before, but in 2025, having started and ended the year all within about a year's time frame of streaming, you guys have allowed me to tick the box to make affiliate on Twitch. We're not going to do that, as I've already talked to you about, and this will be the last time I talk to you about it for quite some time, because it's not important. Doesn't matter. That's not why we're here. But thank you again for being here. Friday, back on My Day Friday, we're on day 3 of Quest for Glory 4, and then we'll do a Kerbal Space Sunday next week. I don't think I'm going to do any stream on Saturday, so hopefully you find somebody else that you enjoy if you have come in and see me. Otherwise, we'll think about some type of game to play at some point. But for the time being, Saturdays we won't stream. As we hopefully bring this bad boy in. Nope. For a landing. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Touchdown. Yeah. Oh, don't crash. Don't crash. Jeb, you made it. Yeah. Thank you guys again for coming in so much. I appreciate you. Wolf, good to see you. Para, thanks again for the chat. I need to get you and Wolf into the same chat at some point. You guys can talk space. Much more apt to know what you're talking about than I am, for sure. Why are you? What's going on here? Why are you? Settle down. Just settle down. Okay. No, don't try and influence it. Let you do what you want. Got it. Bring the gear up. That's what's causing the problem. Can we rest you on your head? There. The final resting place. Sid, as always, it's good to chat with you. Gore, thanks again for coming out. Everybody, I appreciate you. Twitch, tonight, we went just a touch later, and this isn't the reason why. I just don't want to drag you over to somebody else that I don't know, and we've encountered some interesting folks with raiding. So without me vetting or you guys suggesting, we'll leave a raid alone for tonight, and we'll hit it up next week. But yeah, thanks again, guys, so much for coming out. If you want to come and see me on Friday, and if not, if you're not interested in that, come once again for Kerbal Space Sundays next week. I hope you have a great week. Enjoy the rest of your night. And if you're watching this at a later date, I'm elderb. Take care.